and welcome to this new channel Manu.Sens.Cris. Today we're going to do some numerology and we're going to look again the number 1 to 3. This is the part 3. And first of all, what I would like to do is to look at what we've learned quickly in the part 1 and 2. You can refer to it if you want to before you see this one, but this is how you feel. So connect to the hand, you know, as I said, the hands do not lie. Connect to your heart, breathe slowly, and just let the energy go through and this wisdom go through. If you want it or not, just, you know, remain sovereign of who you are. Okay? So let's have a look at the stories we went through before. So the number 1 is the masculine aspect and is like a horse riding in one direction. Then he meets the number 2, which is the feminine aspect. It's like going in one direction and decided to go back into where it started. We've seen that, you know, in the number 2 here. I'm going in one direction here and I'm coming back here and I'm digesting it here within the feminine. Then the number 1 goes to a deeper understanding of who he is. He's looking himself in a mirror. He's looking himself up and down, one way and the return, and try to understand, you know, have an objective view of who he is. And then we have the channeling here, which is a connection between sky and earth. When he's reaching this understanding, he's going back again 1 + 1 to the feminine. And he's reaching out within his feminine within. So we have then the masculine. We're gonna put it here within the feminine. Okay. And if we were looking at again the tummy here, what we have is the tummy of the person here, the testicles as we said, and we have the arrow, which is the phallus. And if we do this, we have the sign of the masculine here, the circle and the arrow. When the work has been done here, I apologize for the moving of the video, but you'll have to deal with it because my table is not really as stable as it should be, but I like it. When you reach the masculine, reach this understanding and stabilize, harmonize the feminine within itself and the masculine within itself. Here we have the feminine aspect, the testicles, the tummy, the emotional body, and here the phallus, which is a masculine aspect. Then there is another work to be done. So I'm going to leave it to that because that's the recap for the masculine journey. Now let's look at the feminine. When the feminine does the same work we can do with number 1, goes to the journey of exploring, then coming back to herself, then finally meeting the masculine, then looking at a mirror aspect, which is actually a notion of love here. Then she starts understanding that she needs to understand to integrate harmoniously the masculine. And we arrive at this, let's say, conclusion that when the feminine accepts the masculine within, to merge with it. We have the penetration of the phallus here, representing the ovaries and the tummy. We have again the sign of the feminine, which is the circle and the cross. This is a feminine which has within her the masculine and the feminine aligned. Okay? Now the recap is finished. This is the conclusion that we had at the end of the second video. Here we have the number 3. And when two aligned person, a masculine which has the feminine and the masculine aligned, and a feminine which has the feminine and masculine aligned, they can conceive a number 3, which is quite interesting and starting to have a high level of vibration. But now we're gonna go into another level. So I'm going to take again this one, which is a masculine line, and I'll represent it with the number 1. And that's a new journey. The number 1 here, starting to discover new worlds, and he knows the tools of looking each other, looking people, looking externally, learning from experience from outside, but also looking within. But something that occurs is that the ego starts giving up within the present instant, and he starts being more trustful about what's happening, have trust in the system or the environment or the mechanic of the world or the universe, I would say. Not society, just the mechanic of the present instant. And what is happening is that it's not about looking himself in a mirror, looking himself back and forth, behind, at the front, or up, or down, whatever. He's starting to merge with something that he never thought was possible, which is the soul. And the one which is egoistic becomes the golden lion and starts becoming the sword of Excalibur. This is a sign that represents the masculine in this most powerful aspect, the sword of Excalibur, the divine masculine. In here, we have the ego and the soul. We have a masculine aspect which has his back covered. They're back to back. They're functioning in a team. It's a teamwork. The masculine and the feminine are working together to move through the journey and get discernment. It's a wonderful aspect here, because this is a masculine that has explored his masculine side, has explored his feminine side, integrated it, discovered his soul, harmonized the balance between ego and soul. And now is a divine masculine. He has integrated his masculine aspect, his masculine incarnation, by knowing the balance between the feminine and the masculine, between it all, between the sky, between the earth, between the feminine, between the masculine, or within or outside. And we have the sword of truth, Excalibur. Now if we look at the feminine, when the feminine goes through the same journey and has been looking herself in a mirror, again, up and down, back and front. She can now, and she has integrated a masculine within. She's aligned. She can start working with the soul. And when the feminine works with the soul, what is going to happen? Actually, I never seen the sign before. This is the first time. Here we go. This is what we have. And I don't know if you feel it, but maybe it can help if I do something like this, but I don't need to. This is the Graal. This is the cup of love. And you can feel in my voice, this is a beautiful aspect. So we have here Excalibur. And when the feminine works in harmony with the soul and the ego, and they are back to back, they are protecting is not protecting, but they're covering each aspect and, moving along together in harmony. We have the Graal. So here is the signification of and the symbolism of Excalibur and the Graal. Now what I would like to experiment with you, and I'm going to ask the wisdom of the hand and see what comes up, is that when the sword of truth, deep within the cup of the Graal, when they merge, what happens? What does it look like? So let's try it, okay? So we have Excalibur and we can put it this way. So that's interesting. If we do this, we have like the fountain of youth. This fountain of abundance and splashing everywhere. Drink this water from this celestial union. So splashing everywhere, in harmony. Now let's see if the sword of truth put the pointy bit of the sword within the cup, within the Graal. And then we have this. And then it looks like we need to open up the Graal a bit more. And there, I can tell you, I find a lovely sign here. It's difficult to connect to it, but what I see, it's a flower. It looks like the lys. It's a lys that the kings were using a lot. You can see the petal and even the white petals, and you can see now the colors taking form. This is a type of silver. You have the masculine aspect here, which is the pistil, or sorry, I don't know how to say it in English, but we have the petals here, and the tip of the flower, which is the masculine aspect. We have a beautiful flower opening up. So I'm gonna leave it to this, because I think maybe there's more to tell, but already this is a lovely video and lovely understanding. So I thank you for watching this video. Please share, like, subscribe. There is also my Facebook page if you want to see the events. And I tell you, namaste.